Hello guys, and welcome to episode 2 of my Bruderkrieg campaign in WARNO, playing on the NATO side. Previously, we had an epic defense at Bad Hersfeld. The 11th Armoured Cavalry Regiment really did a number on a lot of these units, and you can see that they're all seriously lacking strength, whilst we managed to maintain ours. We've fallen back, however, to meet up with the Panzergrenadier Battalion 152. And this is going to give us some Panzergrenadier support with Marders, and some of those Marders have Milan, so that's going to be really handy. But we're going to create a second line of defense near Niederrada, and that should prevent them from just running down the road here to Alsfeld, which is their next objective. So we're going to be trying to block the way. Now, I didn't really go over the UI much in the previous episode because we kind of got thrown into a very big battle immediately. But in terms of the units on the map, basically you have an attack strength and you have a defense strength. And that really only matters so much for either determining the strength of a unit at a glance, but also auto resolve. That's probably the main thing that's used for auto resolve. The number in the top right of the card is the amount of action points remaining, so you can kind of tell that from a glance without having to click on them. And then in the top left you have these little markers which determine your fatigue, and if you attack too much with the same unit over and over and over again, all that's going to happen is they're going to run out of fatigue and they're going to end up disheartened, and that makes them extremely vulnerable to surrender. So you've got to be careful of that. I believe when they completely get disheartened, they lose their effectiveness on the front line, so they will no longer push the front line and end up getting the front line pushed over them, in which case they end up out of supply, and then they can be attacked and killed off very easy. So you really do have to be careful. Anyway, at the top here we have our score, we've got the turns, we've got the date. On the right we've got the objectives, so we've got the points needed in order to win, including the objectives that give you those points. And then in the bottom right we have obviously the next turn button. There is the campaign status, which gives us an overview of the score and what's given us the score so far. We have the order of battle, which allows us to go through all of the units available in each unit, including the packed units. So that's pretty cool. You can kind of check what the opponents have potentially available, and you've also got the casualty list, which is really interesting, and hopefully I'll be reminded to check this at the end of the campaign because it's always interesting to see how much is lost. But so far we've lost 10 M1A1 Abrams, for example, 1 Bradley, 4 Scouts, and the M35 supply, and an M998 Humvee. So that's pretty much it for us, but for them they've lost almost 20% of their tanks already after our first battle, so we did pretty well. That's for sure. Okay, well, we've moved our unit, and you can see that I've moved it within these blue squares. That's going to make it so that we can potentially attack in the next turn if we wanted to, but honestly I only brought it down here so it can meet up with the Panzergrenadier Battalion, which moves as far as it could, and I'm not expecting to attack in the same turn, so it doesn't really matter if it has used up all of its movement. Let's just go on to the next turn and see what the AI get up to. So it looks like they're going for a flanking maneuver here, going around my forces, which is a little bit worrying because I don't really have the units to spread out like they do. Like, they've got a lot of lower strength units that can spread out, whilst mine's all concentrated in the 11th Armoured Cavalry. So they've decided to come down to the left here. The Avkada Battalion
enemy disrupts our means of communication and command and control with electronic warfare measures. Apart from the local Raken artillery and reconnaissance forces of the Bundeswehr in Homburg, there is hardly any radio contact. Which unit should be deployed urgently as reinforcements?
This is another cool thing about the WARNO campaign that I can mention now, is the choices that you get. So every time you play the campaign you can make a different choice. You can either, in this case, take the rocket artillery, or we can take the Avkada Battalion. The Avkada Battalion will probably be more useful, I imagine. The artillery, it just comes with a load of like Mars and stuff, I think, and you can see that the strength is not as high as the Aufklärer Battalion 5. So we're going to take the Aufklärer Battalion 5.
Aufklärung Battalion 5 await your command in Homburg.
Here they are. So what do we get in this? We get some Interführung, some supply. We've got Jägers with Panzerfaust and the Leopard 1A1s. There's going to be a bunch of Fuchs with Leopard 1A1 support. So this was actually potentially a good choice because there's a ton of tanks. And all of these tanks, they have 17 penetration, so they're going to be very effective against T-55s. I'm going to shift it down this way. We'll bring it over towards Auersfeld, or I can kind of shift it up to the top right here if I want to. If I attack here, that will bring in these ones as reinforcements. So it is tempting to just wipe out both of these. And that way we can then just focus to the right-hand side. The other thing is, these are all very low strength, so I mean, just going back and taking Bad Hersfeld doesn't also seem like a terrible idea if the Aufklärungsbattalion can get over to Auersfeld to help out the VKK that are going to be here next turn. Also, we got the Panzer Battalion 142 that's going to be ready in one turn. That's going to be more Panzergrenz. If we can shift all of this over to Auersfeld, maybe these lot can just go to Bad Hersfeld. It's just this is a lot of units that is coming down here. We could potentially make a pretty heroic defense with the Leopards. We will commit to this engagement. I'm going to move down here with the 11th Armored Cav. We'll initiate the attack with my Panzergrenz. And we'll call in both of these. I don't think I'm going to bring in my aircraft at the moment. We'll save those. Potential of 11 defense. This is going to be a minor victory as a probable outcome. If we add aircraft, it would be a major victory on the auto-resolve. I think what I'll do is we'll just keep it like this and we'll do a tactical battle. And in we go. It looks like the other squad didn't actually reinforce, so it's going to be like a 2v1 here. Interesting. Okay, so it's just our forces versus their sort of small recon. And we're just going to play it out quick. Okay. Right, we will do that with just M1A1A cavs. Might as well get all of those in. There's not really too much in this recon unit that can threaten us, I don't believe. So we're just going to get plenty of A-cavs. Get them nice and far forwards. Bring up normal Abrams behind, potentially with a Bradley each, just to make sure that they are safe as well. The Bradleys do have better optics than the M1A1A cavs. I might also therefore want to place an M3A1 Bradley with each of these A-cavs. That will do. Alright, let's go. I actually should have brought in a leader as well. That would have been a smart idea, because we don't want them to get like so far ahead on conquest points, although the likelihood is we'll defeat them by fatigue or morale loss by just destroying as much as we can. We're just going to keep this sped up because it's a pretty simple battle. I was really expecting the other unit to join in, but obviously it differs from the auto-resolve in this case. And that's the first blood of this episode of the WARNO campaign. We'll be able to take out the BMP here as well. We did just about manage to unload. We almost hit our own tank with our TOW2. That wouldn't have been good. You can see that the AI has managed to capture these very quickly. So we're going to want to try and cap that back ourselves. I'm going to send an M577 CPC just right up the road here. And we'll bring up the engineer leader for the left in a Humvee because that will get there pretty quick. Also, it's going to be easy to conceal in the backside of that sector. So currently they are on a +7, as you can see. It's really just on our recon elements to clear the way right now. Just make sure that we are engaging the BMP-1s here with the M1A1s, because we do not have range to engage them. Oh. Now we do. Beautiful. Oh, that's not good. We might actually lose that. Yep, we did. Cheeky Mutchudson hiding in the forest. That's not what you like to see. Lost ourselves a Bradley in a battle that really we didn't need to. I am potentially being very over-aggressive here. But alas, we shall continue onwards, and we will basically just come out to the side here. I'm going to make sure that the Bradley isn't the one that's targeted. Although by doing that, I do lose line of sight onto these Conquer's units. More Abrams, more Bradleys. These Conquer's units are pretty rough for us to deal with, because there are so many of them.
Yes, sir. I've got him.
They've only got 25 morale left, and that is points worth of kills. So you see each of these are worth 1 point. And that's slowly counting down the morale.
Yes, Captain. Successful hit. Tank ready. They spotted us. Waiting for instructions.
Again, let's make sure that we get right on top of those BMPs. It's going to be super important that we kill these. M1A1 Abrams, 65% on the move with the 2 vet. Plenty accurate to move forwards and engage these on the move. Which is good, because I am going to have to continuously close range in order to get these kills. It's funny, when I'm still, it seems like we're even less accurate sometimes. I will take a wide berth around this tree line.
Waiting for instructions. It will be faster on the road. Radio check. Red 16.
The MTLBs not really going to provide us with any points, because it's the infantry inside them that gives us the points. We will still kill them off. One less target for us to worry about.
Good job, Gunner. Recon unit at your orders.
SPW coming up in the flank. Alright, 10 points left. Let's get the M577 CPC to follow up here. The reason I'm going to do that is just in case the AI kind of doesn't have enough points on the map in order for me to break the morale, and then we can just win by conquest very easily. I think if I decap and cap Alpha, it will be victory, but I think we're going to have more than enough stuff to kill. And this will most likely wipe out this recon unit. Let's make sure the Bradleys are not in front, because they are most vulnerable to the HDGams. I thought I was actually going for the M577 then. That would have been unfortunate. Right, 2 left on the morale. That's 1. And probably 2 any second. There it is. Boom. Job done. So if I had known that the other unit wasn't going to join, I probably would have just auto-resolved that. Auto-resolve in WARNO is a lot more reliable than in Steel Division 2. Steel Division 2, auto-resolve was just like, you're going to wipe out half your tank battalion. Very, very easy against like a very weak security regiment. It was always very silly. Okay, and with that, unfortunately, it looks like we might be a little bit short on attacking the next unit. I wonder if I move here and we do the attack. No, not going to be able to reinforce that. So we're going to chill here. There's no reason to overextend and go for another attack. We'll let them bump into us. Although this unit, I suppose, could come down this left-hand side, which would be not ideal. Although we don't need to hold Schwalmstadt, so that's fine. And Stadt Tallendorf. We will get the German reinforcements from here and send some up there if we need to. But yeah, for now, Auersfeld is our actual objective. And if they start moving this direction with this unit anyway, we'll just cut into them with these guys towards Bad Hersfeld to take it back. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we can do for our turn, so we'll just move on to the next one. They are going to continue to move over on this right-hand side. That is going to get them onto this road. That's kind of risky for us because we are in a salient right now due to this section. This could maybe surround us. I think we have enough fatigue to fight our way out of it, though. Potentially. Okay, they tried to move around. I don't think they had enough to do so. They've actually stayed pretty close here, which is good. It means we can probably initiate an attack on all three of these units.
Panzer Grenadier Battalion 142 has deployed in Schwalmstadt. They are ready for battle.
And we're going to zoom over to Auersfeld with all of these because we're of course going to have to deal with this large group of units, since I doubt I'm going to attack into the side of this with the 11th Armoured Cavalry Regiment. And we could, but I think it's better for me to try and make this defense work on its own with maybe air support as well, and then we can push into this on the left. So let's move these guys over, and I think which one would be better to attack. Probably this one, so that we can make sure that we don't get cut off on the bottom side here. We'll bring in both of these. It says it's going to be a draw. I am probably going to use my aircraft this turn to try and support this. Also, it will give us access to extra reinforcement points per minute. So when we start an attack, it gives us the terrain type, it gives us the strength of the attacker. They get the strength of the defender there, and then deployment points, how many deployment points we're going to have, plus how many reinforcements per minute. And if we add planes, we get an extra 5 deployment points, and we get an extra reinforcement point per minute. So definitely worth bringing in the planes if they can give us that little bit of a bonus. So less tactical battle. Ah, they got intercepted by this hub unit really, really far back. That did a lot of damage. Oh, we only lost one plane. Okay, that's not as bad as it looked. What plane did we use? Oh, we lost one of the F4FAT planes. You're kidding me. Alright, well, we're forced to engage without air support, which is unfortunate, and that is going to remove the extra reinforcement points per minute, as I was mentioning. So that's tough, because yeah, it basically means that as we push back towards Bad Hersfeld, there's going to be pretty much no air support for these units. The air support should be able to protect Auersfeld, so that's fine. But yeah, for this battle, things are going to be a little bit more difficult because of that. But we'll probably look for victory by use of morale. As, yeah, these sectors are not in our favour whatsoever. I mean, I think the sectors are always in favour of the defender, so there is that to bear in mind. You can see that they can deploy all the way into Charlie. So the way we're going to want to do this is probably come to the left here and then sweep in through Alpha and Charlie up this section here. Because going through these sections, especially when they're going to have recon units that can deploy maybe here, is going to be incredibly dangerous. So we'll just focus on keeping our units together on the left. Also, they did decide to bring in aircraft, so I am going to bring in my Gepards and also my PVADs this time around. We'll get the Gepards. Gepards are nice and reliable. PVADs can come with us. We'll only bring in one at the start. We do get access to Stingers as well, which could be useful once we kind of take some of these buildings, but otherwise in the open they're going to die, so we won't bring them in. Let's go for M1A1 ACAVs. We'll bring in M1 Abrams, of course. I'm just going to make sure I use the ones from the Troop HQ before I bring in the ones from the following platoon, just so that I can keep things tidy on the top left and know which stuff I have left before, like in each battle basically. Just makes it easier for me to click the stuff on the top left. I don't think I want any Bradleys. Maybe bring in one just for the extra line of sight. I can keep it behind my forces. Otherwise, we just want more of these M1A1 ACAVs. And we're just going to really commit to the M1A1 ACAVs because they're really, really useful. And yeah, just loads of Abrams, that'll do. Lovely. Perfect. I might have to be a bit careful of them putting stuff near the spawn. But if they start kind of sneaking through on this right-hand side, then what I'll do is just start shifting some of the tanks there, bringing as reinforcements to the right-hand side instead. The scouts here, I will bring them in after the start and we'll put them on the right-hand side. For now, let's just do this and launch. We'll sort out our formation once we get to this position. I do also need to bring in a leader. That is also important. I do keep forgetting to do that. It's not a massive deal. It does potentially make it harder for me to win if I'm not capturing stuff like right at the start. But I mean, they already captured both those sectors already, so we're going to be on a little bit of a time limit here, trying to push into these sectors. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Alright, so with the first tick, what we're going to do is we're going to put some scouts here. I'm going to bring in the engineers. We have 8 minutes. Now if we full cap this, it's going to definitely slow things down a bit, but they're still going to be at +5.
War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening.
We want to basically push their leader out of here so that we can get it'd only be a +3, and then we might have enough time to kill enough of them.
Full speed, sir.
But as we're coming up here, let's start spreading out and make sure the Gepards and the PVADs stay back. The rest of these need to spread out, and the Bradley needs to stay behind everything. Just pull them off the line. Just shifting into range of all of these. Beautiful tank line. And we've demolished those initial units. Right, the next thing I'm going to have to make sure that I bring is some supply. We'll bring all 4 of the Hemps with us. Make sure the Bradley follows. And then we'll bring in some more Bradleys.
My staff and myself are ready, sir.
We've slowed things down a little bit. We'll keep the Gepards nearby because I'm a bit worried about the flank here. But these M1s can just shift into cover. And we need to get past these buildings, so we're just gonna move over like so. Keep the Humvee close to the engineers. As we get close here, we might get an AT weapon in the side. But the other thing I'm going to want to do is make sure I bring up my M1A1 leader. Good. Actually, big kill. Not going to be the one that's capturing though. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was. Yeah, it looks like it was. We're capping that really slowly though. Lovely tank formation going on. These didn't unload, so we could be easily flanked right now. I don't think there's actually a reason for us to sell our transports. I kind of realised this after the first episode, where because transports don't actually cost anything, like the Bradleys, there's actually no reason to sell them, or the Humvees, sorry, not Bradleys. There's no real reason to sell them. It actually kind of allows you to move your units around a lot easier. Now the thing is, the reinforcements come in from multiple directions here. Whoa, it's not good. Look at the AA, just ripped them a new one. He did lose an M1 there. I was kind of expecting to lose some tanks in this engagement, so losing one to the infantry ambush there isn't actually too bad. But it does make me kind of want to bring in some dismount troopers. Yeah, it's difficult to say. That's worth it. Right, anyway, let's continue moving through here. We really need to get the leader into the next sector. I do have the M1A1s with that A1 leader with me, so we can use that. We've got these fixed up. That one can drive back. Actually, we'll bring the Hemps forwards. The Hemmets. And we'll also bring my engineer leader forwards. We'll just kind of keep things together as we move up, so that we can deal with any concentration of forces with our own. The main thing right now is just stopping the conquest point timer for them, because we're nowhere near getting morale victory. So we are going to have to look at getting conquest victory potentially in this one.
I'm listening, Captain.
I do like how the objective kind of changes based on how the battle plays out. There could easily be plenty of troops coming around our flanks right now, which would be terrible. Make sure I shift some tanks over to assist these Bradleys. And we are going to continue to bring in more of my tanks.
I hear you loud and clear.
Alright, getting through this tree line is going to be a nightmare.
Fall back. We'll find them, and then we'll kill them. Recon unit, at your orders.
We're going to have to kind of concentrate our forces. Whilst avoiding infantry ambushes. What is my leader doing? Good. Now we can use the open here to push across, so I am going to do that. Kind of created two groups here. Good. The Bradleys actually help us out a lot this time.
Copy, sir. Yes, sir.
Looks like something cooked off over here. It's really cool when tanks cook off.
Yes, sir. All ammo spent. Move, but watch our flanks.
Okay, good. Managed to get that in there. Let's bring these into the right side. We haven't actually had to deal with any aircraft yet, although I say that now. I'm going to be speaking too soon, I think. If we can kind of break through here, it would put us in a very nice position. Because I can kind of cover from this tree line. Dismount troopers can start moving up. Bradley's actually kind of being MVPs here.
Good job, Gunner. Yes, Captain.
Let's move a couple of these hemps into the tree line behind them so they can fix up without having to go too far.
Beware, Tommy's nearby. Engine is running. We're waiting. We'll be faster on the road. Roger. Redeploying.
Make sure we're getting the next bunch of units in. I do get some M109s. Could be pretty handy. Oh, these units are kind of rushing down the left side here. Not good. We need to make sure we don't let them get too close like that, because they're going to spawn and crit there. Bradley popped it, that's good, although I have to smoke the road. Now, I want to get up this road, but this is going to be so difficult. We just lost an Abrams at close range here. Yeah, they're getting too close to us in this position. I'm going to have to fall back. We need more critical mass before we can mess around with that. Okay, on this side, time to keep moving through. We'll use the dismount troopers on our right to kind of screen. This has run out of fuel.
I have nothing else planned for this afternoon. Out of ammo.
I just swung the old Bradley over to give smoke there, but I don't think it's going to be good enough.
Let's go. Go back. Slow. Yes, Captain. Watch out for the red. Yes. Be careful.
Yep.
Hold position.
No chance.
I've got him. Yes, Captain.
We need to find the leader over here.
What are your orders, sir? Successful hit.
Good.
Go back. Slow. Yes, Captain.
Right, can you get back now, please?
I am listening, Captain. Out there, you shoot first and ask questions later. Yes, sir. Go back. Slow.
Oh, there's the leader.
Instructions.
We found him.
They spotted us. This is Red 2. Enemy
Good.
spotted.
Do I want to run headlong into Mudschützen? Probably not. So we won't do that.
At your orders. Red 6. Mount it up. Grab the binoculars.
Make sure my reinforcements are coming up. I completely forgot about them again.
Be careful. Enemies nearby.
But I keep them coming in. The reason I'm like bringing them here is because I don't want them to use this road. So I want them to manually drive across the open here, which is costing them the fuel use. But I think it's fine. Let's where's these Bradleys at? Cavs.
Good job, Gunner. Attention. Good job,
And we are on a +1,
ready, sir.
which is good. Now with all of this, I want to get out in the open over here so we can just cover that right side.
Yes, sir.
Start the engine. We're moving.
Attention.
And all of these can spread out and help take this objective. 35 minutes remaining. I think we have enough time. I will probably have to send a... We've got these two, they can follow us. We can bring in more supply over here. Risky. I don't know if this is clear. I'm going to bring in a Humvee that can try and scout the way.
My staff and myself are ready, sir. Roger. Yes, Captain. They spotted us.
Ooh, that Bradley.
Yes, Captain. Roger. Okay, let's go. Yes, Captain.
Having these out in the open, maybe not the best idea. Let's just
Hunting for convicts.
shift these over to the left. We'll have the leader here, and that can cover all of them. And then we can have these
Beware, enemies nearby.
sit behind,
Someone call for a cab.
kill.
War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening.
And we're going to want to take back this tree line now.
At your orders. Fall back.
Ready, sir.
Watch out for the red. Good job, Gunner. Enemy spotted. Glad to see someone knows where we're going.
We'll go. Out.
Successful hit.
Alright, time for the second push here, I think. There's actually stuff coming down from this direction. Didn't think about that.
Roger.
What do you need, Captain?
Looks like so far so good with the supply.
Out.
Famous last words, so we'll just
Successful
make sure to just move across the open manually.
Copy. Right up. Get in formation. War Daddy to Red Leader. I am listening. Hit. Copy, sir. Waiting for instructions. Roger. Search and destroy. What are your orders, sir? Copy, sir. Hit. I hear you loud and clear.
Overwhelming firepower now. It's very nice.
Where do you want it delivered?
Temet has actually completely run out.
Tank ready.
Get these dismount troopers forwards with the engineers. And I'll actually bring in some more proper engineers, not just the leader.
They spotted us! Need a ride?
Make sure we keep the helmets safe.
Got 'em! Enemy spotted!
Any Bradleys that get damaged we need to fall back. Same with the Abrams.
I've got 'em! Move, but watch our flanks!
They are down to 67 morale.
At your orders. I've got
We've done a good job so far.
That was close. Radio check, Red 1-6, over.
Be careful. Enemies nearby.
Really just pulling no punches with these engagements. That's for sure. Let's make sure the Abrams come out into the open. We need them to tank these shots for us.
Recon unit at your orders.
Because the Bradleys are getting picked off now. I don't really mind the Bradleys being picked off too much. It's kind of very difficult to ensure that they remain alive, honestly.
Yes, Captain. I've got 'em.
My dismount troopers will try and keep them alive if we can. Gotta be kind of careful. This unit coming in.
Looking for enemy planes. Let's go, driver.
The mod should some BTR there.
It's hot here. Back up. Back up.
Be careful. Enemies nearby.
Recon unit at your orders. Good job, gunner.
Good kills.
But keep facing
Make sure we don't
tank ready.
get attacked here. They're constantly throwing stuff at us. It might be just another morale victory, as we are slaughtering them.
But keep facing the enemy.
They're trying to push me out
Yes, Captain.
of this objective,
Roger.
and it is not working out very well for them.
At your orders.
Big kills coming through. Looks like I didn't really need these extras here. I could line them up here, to be honest,
This is Red 2. Enemy
and then
spotted.
move over Bradley down.
Red 6. Mount it up.
Oops.
I hear you loud.
Bit late on the smoke there.
Calm down speed, driver.
Still have plenty of Abrams we can bring in to reinforce. Interestingly enough, we have almost brought in every single Abrams we have in this entire
Roger.
battalion.
Waiting for instructions. Beware, enemies nearby.
They're starting to invest into
Red leader.
more artillery, it seems.
I've got him.
It might be smart for me to get this engineer leader into the tree line here.
Recon unit at your orders.
Getting it across the open is going to be a problem, though.
Be careful. Enemies nearby.
Waiting.
Since they are starting to buy artillery, I'm actually going to have to be a bit more aggressive.
Tank ready. Let's roll. Enemy spotted.
At least keep on the move. Like, moving
Mount it up.
is probably one of the biggest ways to counter artillery. Don't need to be careful not to be flanked
I am listening.
by BMPs, though.
Yes, Captain.
And this Humvee.
Radio.
What a Chad.
1-6. All units. Enemy sighted.
Oh, wow.
Waiting for instructions, sir. I've got him.
Interesting.
Closing on them, sir. Red 6. Mount it up.
Managed to just drive behind us.
Roger. Ready, sir. Roger. All units. Good job, Gunner. Report in to Red Leader. I'm listening. Fall back. I've got him. Schon unterwegs. Schon unterwegs. Schon unterwegs. In. Waiting for instructions. It's got it.
And you just got to keep up the pressure. So many destroyed tanks everywhere. But yeah, the Bradleys have been extremely useful. It's cool to watch them fire their toes.
Engine is running. We're waiting.
Interesting. Behind us there with the SPW.
Yes, sir. Enemy spotted. Good job, Gunner.
Really not much left for me to kill, honestly.
And then we'll kill them.
I think all of their reinforcements are dead.
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing that I was talking about previously that I actually forgot to mention was when I'm playing on hard difficulty, what it does is it does give them extra income in these battles, but it does not give them extra
I am
units. So the units are the same number as we see on the campaign map. The other thing that's hard difficulty is they do get increased veterancy,
ready.
which is why all of their units are elite, which is really, really rough.
Be careful. Enemies nearby.
Just killing one more of these squads will get the job done, and that's it. Victory by morale. I mean, even if we hadn't have won by morale there, it was certainly going to be a conquest victory. Another total victory for our Abrams and Bradley combo. We did take 28 losses. 28 losses, like, I'm not happy with that personally. I feel like there are many ways in which you could play these battles perfectly, but in the sort of matter of time it takes, I don't want these battles to last too long. So that's why I'm often quite aggressive, and that's more of like a personal thing rather than like a content aware thing. I do like to kind of keep on the move, stay aggressive. I just find it more fun. I really do. But then like the part of my brain goes, oh, but if you were just a little bit more careful, you wouldn't have lost that one there or that tank there. It's always in the back of my mind. So like, whilst this is a good KD, part of my brain's like, what was good? Well, old MacDonald getting plenty of kills. Good job with the 20 points. 13.56 to 1 kill death ratio. Very nice. So they are now fleeing. We got to be careful with our fatigue here. Their fatigue is actually lower than ours. I would like to do a follow-up attack, but I don't think I can. Because it leaves us vulnerable. So instead, I think we might actually just have to move down here. Just so that we can't be surrounded so easily. They'll probably fall back regardless. Alright, well, another awesome set of attacks. Haven't really managed to try out the auto-resolve properly yet, but there's a good chance that, if I manage to get on top of these guys, then we can auto-resolve it. Let's just see, prepare an attack. The defender's still going to get 7, potentially, so there's no way that we can really auto-resolve that. And especially with like the fatigue being a thing, gotta be careful, can't let it get too high, otherwise they can be sprung on pretty easily. So kind of limiting our constant attacks there. Hopefully we'll be able to hold Elsfeld. We'll be heading back up to Bad Hersfeld soon. Alright, well, that is it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this look at the WARNO campaign. Second episode complete. We'll be moving on to the third very soon. That's all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.